Hey guys, hi to you. We are not gonna leave out anyone. I was about to changing my old sandpaper with new for this pad. That's an stamp pad, but I use it as cleaner for my soldering iron. And my way, it's like French way. No one's copies French. No French copies. Nothing. Some code like that. I cleaned it with methyl alcohol and it's tidy. Okay. We're gonna apply some hot glue. Whoa, really hot. It's really hot, hotter than hot glue by really big scales. Even melts some of that polymer with melting, not even bonding of EVA. Okay, good is new. And we're gonna renew some of that flux. Oh, please skip it. Skip it. Skip it. Okay, I made some notch here. So, okay, it's open. We want something that poor nail. I wanna pick up some of that. Okay, this is like slags, but slags helps you when you are cleaning up because some tiny particles gonna act as abrasive. Okay, we're gonna close that. Maybe I fill up my flux pump even. Maybe later it still have some. Oh, I forgot to apply the swamp cooler as my fume hood, as it always does. But we will do something later. Let's when the fumes come out. Okay. Houston, we have something here. Okay, we have good surface to grab onto, really sharp, really. I even solder some SMDs with this. You can see that surface of ironing improves. And this type of holder, it's made out of wire brush and lid for badminton balls and an extended washer with extended bushing. Simple and easy. And it doesn't intervene with that. And I even add before some kind of cleaning capacities there. So today's work is one of my friend's e-waste that I collect somehow. It's really high quality AUX AV connector that have had some bad connections there, so I cut it out. I promised I'm gonna fix it, but there is one issue that I'm gonna talk to you later. It have really good copper in it, and also is highly stranded, highly maneuverable and soft. And why I'm starting with smaller gauge, it's because the thicker gauge finally gonna drag the smaller gauge. So when you start with smaller gauge, everything gonna be tidy. See it? It dragged it up, so you can fix it. When you didn't tie it first, you don't have any reference point to address that. So, a knob in the end, return back to those. Even 1 millimeter that I cut short is bothering me now. And tie the ends. So I'm gonna come up here so you can see soldering clearly. Dab it in some flux. So much more flux. My hand here acts as positive coefficient. Oops, flux in my rock, flux in my air. I breathe in flux to help me melt better. Okay, it's easy peasy. It's like working with butter. Good enough for girls I go out with. I start with the standard part, so soaking them in the flux helps because their surface area. And the thin and lead in the solder material tends to bind up as a clog because it's internal tensions. And when you apply it in soldering, you wanna translate it in one moment like this to surface tension rather than internal tension of material itself. And it's gonna stick to any surface of that copper. Voila. It's done. My body's e-waste is almost done. Oh, it's even shorter. Okay, that much is excused. But I'm not gonna give him back his part, because always when I'm accepting some repairs and such, gonna say that may it's fixed, may it's gone away. I'm gonna play gone away this time, so completely good and ready. AUX to AV, which is obsolete by the time we are using somehow only in the sound amplifier that some applications It's an analog port. I'm gonna keep some of its wire for further thinking around. What? Wait, what? So we're gonna add that. My project is I have one of these mufflers. I bought it so cheap. I disassembled it and I gonna make the headphones out of it. Perfect headphones. Okay, I already drilled it out, the wire gauge, and I didn't even deboard it. Still some boards. Okay, we gonna pass those wires through this varnish covering, and this shrink fit, it's almost enough for that to pass. What do you think? If we have a continuous lead in that, it's gonna help that mangled up shrink fit to not attack to this poor thingy. Maybe wrapping it in some tape gonna help us a lot, but I'm gonna go unorthodox like always. Simpler, better. Please be enough passing through. Hold that. Okay, we have the end here, so we're gonna help him. Okay, textile industry tricks doesn't help us much. Now that we opened the tube, I'm gonna fold it in opposite way so it can help us, because they are doubled wires and it's loose. I'm not gonna have them loosely over my head. Once before, I added a Bluetooth receiver in one of them, and when I was working in textile industry, that was my sound plugin for smartphone and such, when I was working in really busy factory, really noisy. You cannot bear that kind of noise in any human level. It's almost 130 decibels constantly. And it's a lot. It's like constant honking beside your ears. That worked much better. We are in that point. To what? Here we have some jabbing play here. Jab it till you get it. Oh fuck, that's always happened with my lousy work. Okay. We only have that much of shrink fit, so we're gonna divide it in some lengths. That's good, because now you can see how I strip one of these wires with this. Maybe a flush cutter is a good idea for the tip. Somehow good, but I prefer the flush cutter razor cutter. And you getting maybe 3 centimeters, and I'm just scoring it. I'm not cutting it. Just as you score the rubber, you're gonna move it back and forth, and it's gonna shear off, and you're gonna pull. Okay? See how much copper wire it have. Going back and forth helps to hold strands loose, and going in one way tangles up the end. So when you're going to end, pull some of that out. Now start with the end and go through the tip. That side is okay. That side, I'm getting it that in the half of that length, and just simple scoring. I even barely touched it with the razor cutter, and it's obvious because it doesn't score it any. And always remember, all rubbers except the silicone rubbers are much harder than copper itself. So these motions doesn't affect the copper. I twisted with the covering itself, and it's twisted and ready. I need that end too. I do it fast. I don't wanna put any excess stress on any of these wires. And you see the loose wires are what into my hand, and the extension is what rotating. And one simple score, maybe some of that. Fold it in when you scored it. And the end. Okay. We still have this part, and I can still think soldering to that not gonna be bad idea, but I'm gonna skip it. Skip it. Skip it. How we are opening this bundle is why the extra stress doesn't introduce to one side of this bundle. It's pretty important. See, last failure was just because we weren't supporting any restraints like this. outer jacket, and before shrink fitting it, when we was fishing it out from shrink fit, it was cut it out. And it's ready again. This time I'm gonna shrink fit the first sequences of this cable, so we are not gonna worry about the excess. It's not longest. It's only 1 meter wire and I'm using it for something like for headphones, but the quality is so high that that compromise is logical in my head. It's respectable size, but it have its games. Okay, good enough. Then I'm gonna do the next one and the next one when I completely soldered that. For now, I'm gonna do the shrink fitting. Always smell the connections and such, and be ready for being in flames with these cheap Chinese ones. Good enough for girls. I'll go out with long, steady, and good. I even applied some pressure, and it's hot, so we have the separation of 2 wires. It helps when you're stripping them down, or doesn't leave any crack for moisture to get in. Okay, our shrink fit is really tight and fit. I'm gonna go once again, then another one. Okay, second one. I'm gonna start in one end more so it can contract and shrink, and it tends to, see? And I'm gonna keep the wire straight so it doesn't collaborate in tangles in the wire. And it will sprinkle and such. I'm gonna somehow iron the wire itself. Reusing the e-waste is always joyful. Maybe just for me. Okay. It's some spit on my nails, so it does not burn them so fast with this shrink fit. And shrink fit still wants to shrink more. Okay. Maybe some stretch. Gonna help the shrink fit. Okay. We're gonna skip the flame torch right now. And we're gonna try. Oh. And we're gonna try to make that solder again. Okay. I'm gonna do just one tie, as they tend to tie together. Yep. And the main tie here. In the silicone wires, main tensile strength is covered with glass fibers inside of the main jacket and covering of the cable. But here, the copper, that much of copper is acting like restraining the cable somehow. Okay, I'm coming up again. We don't need to clean that. Anyhow, I didn't even twist those two together. We are collecting big glob of that soldering material. Oh, it's dropped again. Iranian rocks again. See, I use one side of the iron for cleaning, then coming back for dabbing up. Maybe next time for shrink fitting, I'm gonna skip the excess of this leads so they can be tidier inside of that jacket. Look, again, almost half of my spools are in the rugs. That's how I became stupid, because of lead poisoning. That's somehow fun I have. It's somehow anarchy. When I leave and eat, I get trash on. Only the man understands what I'm saying. That's not something that woman can relate to. Nope. I think we can be quite good in that. Weird now, huh? Okay. That must be it, because it's at the center. My hand here act as positive coefficient resistor, those temperature sensors that you have on your multimeter. Whoop. Pretty pretty good. I'm gonna trim the end, which is like Shiite's leader sword. It have two ends, two tip sword that gonna go into holster. It's a lie, but they have it. Okay. A little bit of cleaning. It's soaked in some okay. This lid is too much shorter, but we will work around that. I think maybe we could have one more of those before that, but it's over, I think. I pushed through something like that so much that my repair gonna be in jeopardy. I push through some kinks and some like obsessive things in my work that gonna ruin whole overall result. Okay, we're gonna fix it like that. Okay, where is that? Here it is. I'm gonna dab it first with some hot glue in both ends, and then no, it doesn't need to be waterproof. Waterproofing is always in my mind, even it's not necessary, like in some dumb muffler headphone that I make. Whoop! I burned it some. Good enough for girls I go out with. Only one side is somehow burnt, but it's tight. Tight as a nose cones. Okay, let's pass it through this. And solder it to those sheet phones. They are shitty Chinese speakers. Positive, negative. It will be positive and negative. Red is still indicates it. And I'm not gonna bother even trimming those. Okay. Okay. I will start with positive, which is more delicate. Oops, double doesn't pass. Can I make a loop? Is it big enough for a loop? Loop-de-loop. Okay. I will do that high in here so you can see that. Where is my ring? Hey Lord, give me my ring of power. Okay. Maybe a dab of flux will help. I'm not gonna heat up that much, that area. I'm gonna just put a dab of soldering, and that solder gonna do connection. The heat will dissipate fast. Okay, let's see if it's connected somehow. Okay, and it's still hot. Oh, bigger the gob, better the job. Okay, go there. Next, when I'm doing all the work with my puny hand, it's ridiculous. It's like there is no tweezers and anything in this work. Maybe a nail can help me? I don't know. That's weird. Really weird. And I'm gonna make some shorts to the body and such. And I'm gonna ruin the shielding and ruin everything. Nope. That's tidy enough. Did you see that? Okay. That's good. A dab of flux will help. A little bit of heat. A little bit of molten lead or thin. Maybe the thin part is less than 50%. Oh, that was a BDSM scene with that molten lava on my skin. Okay, I think we can add more. More heat ruins everything. Okay, that's good enough. We can test it right now, but I need my mobile phone for recording this. It's 38 minutes in. I'm really cockeyed and jazz hand. Bye bye, guys. It's that. You saw all the things. I will inform you of the result.